Welcome everyone. In today's video, I am going to talk about the birth of the Nephilim, giants, and the fate of their human mothers. My references are an Ethiopic book called Kabra Negast, the Book of the Glory of Kings, the Book of Genesis, the Book of Enoch, and several other books. Parts of their text are presented at the end. Please watch till the end. And make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. The Book of Genesis in Apocryphal literature tells us the sons of God, angels, descended to earth in antediluvian or the pre-flood times during the days of Jared, father of Enoch, taking material bodies and human wives who bore them angelic-human offspring who grew into mighty giants known as Nephilim. The Book of Enoch reveals that God caused the great flood in the days of Noah, great-grandchild of Enoch, to destroy the Nephilim, giants, and wipe away the corruption the fallen sons of God caused humanity, which included revealing forbidden secrets to their wives. Furthermore, after the flood the deceased spirits of the giants became demons bound to the earth, and their human mothers became sirens, or female evil spirits. According to the Ethiopian tradition and text the Kabra Negast, the Book of the Glory of Kings, the wives of the Watchers, or angels, died during childbirth, being unable to bring forth the oversized bodies naturally. Some of the baby giants died, and others survived by splitting open the stomachs of their mothers coming forth through their navels. In Jewish Talmudic and Madrash folklore, the human wives of the angels gave birth to many thousands of giant children, and some of their wives survived the births, later becoming demons like the deceased others. At first the angels and their wives rejoiced, because these hybrid babies were astoundingly beautiful. But before long their joy turned to horror, because these babies grew into monstrous giants. Other stories say there were much less giants born who were shining, tall and handsome with extreme strength. And the fallen angels bore children who at birth stood up, spoke the holy language, and danced before them like sheep. These giants had such great appetites that God rained manna on them, so that they might not eat flesh. But the giants rejected the heavenly food in favor of slaughtered animals and human flesh. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. There were giants, Nephilim, in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds, and beasts, and reptiles, and fish, and to devour one another's flesh, and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. And Uriel said to me, Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits assuming many different forms are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand, till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged till they are made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. Let us move to the story of the people of the flood. In those times, the watchers, angels, came down from the sky, and after they took the flesh, or bodies, of men, the madness of sin took hold of them. They were expelled from the mysteries they had seen in heaven. It is because of them that the earth was flooded. 7 in the heaven and 70 on earth, such were the waterfalls that were open on those days. The mischievousness was big, and it had filled the earth. Great impurity reigned, the animals themselves were gone astray. The Father didn't recognize his Son anymore, neither the Son would recognize his Father. Humans were sinning with animals. And straightway there were given unto them with his word flesh, and blood, and a heart of the children of men. And they were content to leave the height of heaven, and they came down to earth, to the folly of the dancing of the children of Cain with all their work of the artisan, which they had made in the folly of their fornication, and to their singings, which they accompanied with the tambourine, and the flutes, and the pipes, and much shouting, and loud cries of joy and noisy songs. And their daughters were there, and they enjoyed the orgies without shame, for they scented themselves for the men who pleased them, and they lost the balance in their minds. And the men did not restrain themselves for a moment, but they took to wife from among the women those whom they had chosen, and committed sin with them. And the daughters of Cain with whom the angels had companied conceived, but they were unable to bring forth their children, and they died. And of the children who were in their wombs some died, and some came forth, having split open the bellies of their mothers, they came forth by their navels. And when they were grown up and reached man's estate, they became giants, whose height reached unto the clouds. The children they bore were the giants of old, known as the Nephilim, or fallen ones. They bore 6 children at each birth, and in that very hour their offspring stood up, spoke the holy language, and danced before them like sheep. There were said to be 60 in all. These giants had such great appetites that God rained manna on them in many different flavors, so that they might not eat flesh. But the fallen ones rejected the manna, slaughtered animals, and even dined on human flesh. Still others say that the offspring of the fallen angels were tall and handsome and had greater strength than all the children of men. Because of the heavenly origin of their fathers, they are referred to as the children of heaven. These are the wicked who, assuming the name of angels, not being acquainted with the daughters of right reason, that is with the sciences and the virtues, but which pursue the mortal descendants of mortal men, that is the pleasures, which can confer no genuine beauty, which is perceived by the intellect alone, but only a bastard sort of elegance of form, by means of which the outward sense is beguiled. And they do not all take all the daughters in marriage, but some of them have selected some of that innumerable company to be their wives, some choosing them by the sight, and others by the ear, others again being influenced by the sense of taste, or by the belly, and some even by the pleasures below the belly. Many also have laid hold of those the abode of which is fixed at a great distance, putting in action various desires among one another. They knew the secrets of sin was great in the earth, and they killed man. They begot giants, everything that the earth produced, the great fish, the sky with all that grew, fruit of the earth and all kinds of grain and the trees, beasts and reptiles, all creeping things of the earth. And they observed all, every harsh deed and utterance, male and female, and among humans. They defiled. They begot giants and monsters, they begot, and, behold, all the earth was corrupted, with its blood and by the hand of giants, which did not suffice for them, and they were seeking to devour many. The monsters attacked it. Your strength. Thereupon Ohiah said to Hiah. Then he answered, It is not for us, but for Aziel, for he did. The children of angels are the giants, and they would not let all their poved ones be neglected. We have not been cast down, you have strength. I am a giant, and by the mighty strength of my arm and my own great strength, one mortal, and I have made war against them, but I am not able to stand against them, for my opponents reside in heaven, and they dwell in the holy places. And not they are stronger than I. Of the wild beast has come, and the wild man they call me. Then Ohio said to him, I have been forced to have a dream, the sleep of my eyes vanished, to let me see a vision,